intelligently. Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
I really think that inflation is still going down to the Fed target and that we might see 2 rate cuts by the end of the year.
Economists are calling into question whether the Fed will be able to lower rates anytime soon after.
It's unbelievable. You know, as long as they continue with this rate cut, that's how they get the market to rally. But guess what? The market's rolling over now. The S&P's rolling over. In fact, we've been short the S&P. We did an inverse. We bought symbol SDS, which means every time the spiders are going down, we're making money. It's just an inverse short. And we said that this market was going to go down. How couldn't it go down? I mean, the only way they are able to keep this market up is by doing rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. Zero interest rates, zero interest rates. At some point, it doesn't work anymore. You know, it's interesting. The only predictor of inflation, okay, or an accurate predictor of inflation and is money supply. When you print money, first of all, that's inflationary. And money supply is not on, and remember how much money they printed during COVID. Unbelievable. But it's not only accurate, it's not only a predictor of inflation, but it's a contributor of inflation. And when COVID hit on January 18th, 2020, money printing went wild. They went nuts. They increased the money supply by 25%. Never in our history do we ever do that. Or $6 trillion. Insane. Now, that was as our debt was hitting a record $34 trillion. Yellen was asked at the Congress, she had to go sit there on February 2024, she had to report to them, and they asked her, what about our debt, $34 trillion? Is it sustainable? Because understandably, Congress was worried as to the debt being sustainable, because when you measured it and you took our ratio of debt to our economic growth, it's pathetic. It's 120%. It shouldn't be any more than 65%. So she's sitting there and they ask her, you know, we're really concerned about the sustainability of this $34 trillion. Oh, she said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because you don't measure it that way. You don't measure it as to our ratio of debt to our economic growth. She says instead, she lies, and she said, there should be no concern about debt sustainable, as the proper way to measure it is not by ratio of debt to GDP growth, but rather by the cost of servicing debt. What? As a percentage of GDP. This was a total lie. She was trying to get Congress off, get off the subject. She just bold-faced lied. Remember the first time she lied, she was talking about, they asked her about, oh no, there's no inflation, it's transitory.
We've had several months of high inflation that most economists, including me, believe will be transitory.
That was a lie. So she lied again to Congress. And she got away with it. Because most people in Congress, they have no clue how the economy works. They have no clue. Not at all. In fact, gold, people are asking me over and over, what's gold going to do? What's gold going to do? Now, I had my members in gold mining stocks, and we're doing terrific with the gold mining stocks. But you got to understand, too, about the gold mining stocks. First, a good reason, if you think about buying gold, there's a good reason to buy it, okay? Because when the Federal Reserve, remember, was founded in 1913, the 1 ounce of gold was $19. Today, that same ounce of gold is about $2,410. And so let's put this in perspective. So the price of gold in US dollar terms doesn't necessarily mean that gold is more expensive. It simply means that the dollar is worth less. And that's the problem. The dollar is what's going down. Not so much gold is going up. I know that's hard to understand, but the dollar's getting destroyed. Now, for 3 years, let's think about it. 3 years leading up. Now, GLD, that's the ETF for gold, for the miners. And GLD is not the miners, but for gold, GLD. It's an ETF. Now, for 3 years, remember, leading up to April of 2023, investors were taking money out. They were taking money out. They took $6.5 billion out of the GLD ETF. Then for 3 months, from December 1 to March 1, 2023, the gold ETF, GLD, could not break out. In fact, I'll put it up here for you so you can see if you're following me on my chart here. They could not break out to save their life. And most of the, here it is. If you're following me here on GLD, you can see it right here. Let me bring it back for you. So you can see what's been going on. So for 3 months, it was going sideways. It could not break out of $192. And finally, it broke out. So 3 months, it can't break out. But then inflation started to look like it's going to be permanent. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. They've been lying to you, saying, oh, there's no inflation or it's under control. We're going to hit our target 2%. But the smart money knew that inflation is a permanent fixture in our economy right now. And then you take the unrest in the Middle East, and then you see why the central banks around the world, think about it, China, India, Russia, the BRIC alliance, all are buying gold because they prefer gold over the dollar, because the dollar is getting to become worthless because of all the printing of money. So after nearly 6 months of the GLD failing to break out, especially in the last 3 months, it did. And so think about this. It went up 15% in 4 weeks. Gold was doing nothing. For years, gold was doing very little. And finally, it breaks out. So the big rally in gold that everybody's all excited about, and they should be excited about, because we bought it. I had my members buy it early because we knew it was going to break out. So, but I want you to think about this. This whole big happiness and everything about gold, it was only up for, it was 2 weeks. That's where all the action was, over 2 weeks. That's it. Now it's stalled a bit. There's going to be some profit taking. And let them take some profits, it's going to pull back a little, and then she's going to rally again. But she hit an all-time high on April 12th, as so did GLD, the ETF. She's pulled back a bit, and she's going to hit another all-time high. We'll talk more about gold when we do that.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago, it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. going. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. I told my gang that we shorted, by the way, Nvidia. And we shorted Nvidia. Now, when I say we shorted Nvidia, we call them my 25%ers. These are members who have experience that they got. If they look in their account, 25% of that money came from profits, from good trades. They're called 25%ers. So I told them to short Nvidia. I think that was on March 27th, I think it was. And we did it on our Pro 1. I think the date, I think it was that. I think it was either, was it March 26th that we shorted? March 27th we shorted it. We shorted around 9:32. And then we took our profits when it hit the 50-day moving average. That's where the support was. I said, now take your profits. We had about 8%, 7-8%. I said, then wait until it breaks 800. Now, again, these are my experienced members only. and it broke 800 today. So I said to they get back in and they can short it. That's a big deal, Nvidia. Because remember, Nvidia is the whole market. Nvidia is what's kept this whole stock market alive. That's what pushed this whole stock market was Nvidia. I mean, it's always about Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is the glue that's been holding the entire stock market. Everybody owns Nvidia. Now, if you take the S&P between 2009 and 2024, it went up 682%. So take a look at Nvidia. It went up 50,000%. And people are still buying Nvidia at stage 3. It's stage 3. It's the worst place to buy on a stock is at stage 3. Most dangerous. So Nvidia was up 50,000%. 2009, 2024. Now let's take from March 2020 to March 2024. The S&P was up 130%. Nvidia was up 1,650% compared to the S&P 130%. So you got 1,650 compared to 130. It's all about Nvidia. This whole market is about Nvidia. Now if you take since January 2024 to March 2024, the S&P was up 11% before it started to roll over. Nvidia was up 85% between January 2024 and March. Once Nvidia is done with, it's over. Panic will set in. Now, I told all my members that watch your spiders. Now, we're short. I said, if the spiders break through, if the spiders rolled over, let me put the chart up for you. If the spiders rolled over, and I said, look, when the spiders pulled back, I said, when it pulls back 5%, now that was from its high of around April 4th, I think it was, around 523. I said, if it pulls back that 5%, there's a tremendous amount of stops at that 5%. So in other words, if they hit those stops, if the S&P goes in there, and what they've been doing now for 3-4 days, trying to hold the market up, the plunger team's trying to hold the market up so it won't go down, so it won't set off all these stops. Well, today, guess what? We broke through that 5%, and you're starting to see all these stops getting hit. And Nvidia is now dropping. So everybody who I told for weeks now, I said, the most dangerous place on a market is at its peak. It's called stage 3. But nobody wanted to believe it. They think the market's going to go up forever. But let me get back to gold for a moment. So gold, when we bought gold, I'm just trying to make a point that all the action in gold just happened really here. Let me give you the dates so you can see what I'm talking about. If you take let's take from March 19th, gold was there, that was about 199, and to its high around that was around April 12th. So if you really see all the real action, or if you bring it back a little bit more, all the real action from March 1 to April 12th, that's where all the gold action was, right there. That's it. That's where the action is. Because there was no action in gold. As I said, for 3 months, from December to March. December 1 to March 2023, gold, GLD, the ETF couldn't get out of its own way. It was stuck at that 195 to 200. But soon as inflation, finally the smart money convinces everybody, hey, there is not going to be any rate cuts. They can't cut rates. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be stupid and go ahead and cut them, which would be dangerous, because if you start cutting rates now, do you understand what it would do to inflation? Or if they increase the money supply? That's the problem. When you increase that money supply, you're really screwed. And the other big problem is that ever since they took the price discovery away from us, when Obama took price discovery away from us, He took the free market system away from us. He took the free market system as to setting prices away from us. And he replaced it with what you always hear, price accommodation. Price accommodation, what it means is the Federal Reserve is in the pocket of Wall Street, and the Federal Reserve will create rallies for them by being price accommodative. They set the price. Now, a price accommodation, your capitalism in the free market is gone. It goes to a central authority that sets the price. And that's the plunger team that was set up in 1988. And the plunger team consists of the president, the Treasury Secretary, the SEC chair, Fed chair, and CFTC chair. They decide where the market is going to go. They decide when you get a market that drops 500 points at night, 475 points like it did last Friday night, a week ago, and we came in and the market was up 350 points on Monday. How did that happen? It wasn't price discovery, it was price accommodation, but it all catches up. That's why you got to learn how to sell short. We'll be back for a lot more.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day it goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
I signed up, and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum-level service and stock recommendations. You know, it's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, Phil philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out, philsgang.com, philsgang.com.
What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars, but I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Remember, join my gang free for 10 days. You get instructions on charting, especially you'll be using our color-coded charts that we designed. They tell you when to buy, when to sell. And they're accurate. They really do because they follow the money and they don't follow the BS. Check it out. It's free for 10 days. Now, let's get back to, again, when the market started to roll over with the fact they're not going to cut rates. The big institutions stopped purchasing these overpriced stocks, especially the big tech stocks. They are so overpriced. So overpriced. And if you were a gang member, you were told that over and over. Now, when I told my gang that the S&P was crucial, if it drops below 5%, and what was that price, Willie, at 5%? So in other words, when it hit the high around April 1st, around 524. At 498, I said, that's going to be the area where there's a lot of stops. If they break through that, then you're going to start seeing this market sell off. But again, you got the plunger team. The plunger team comes in, and what do they push up to keep that market away from that 5%? The banks. Because remember, it's the banks that are rallying today, and the banks drive the market. Remember, it's the banks that push up the S&P. The S&P 500 as a group don't go up unless the banks are leading, unless the banks are strong. There was only one bank that was strong, Wells Fargo. And we got our members into Wells Fargo the other day. All the other banks were going down. This bank had relative strength, and she broke out, and she's doing nicely. But if you go through the other banks, and if you're buying JP Morgan, you're buying these today, you're going to get hurt. You don't buy these on the dip. You don't. You got to wait till they make, unless you're really experienced and you know what you're doing. If you're not what we call a 25%er, where you look at your account, and if you look in your account, your trading account, you should see, okay, 25% of that money is all from profits. Then, yes, you can take a chance. You can start purchasing, okay, on dips. But if you are not a 25%er, these are snapbacks, and you go in and buy these today. Take example, Citigroup. The high was $63. It dropped down to about $56. So people are jumping into this today, think, oh, I'm going to buy in a dip, I'm going to make a lot of money. No, you're not. Because if you take a look at the chart, it's telling you don't buy. You got more sellers. If you go back 10 days, you got more sellers than buyers. Your chart shows you the same. And if you buy on the snapback, and it's all it is a snapback. How do we know that? Because our chart tells us that. The chart will set up and tell you, hey, no, don't buy this. This is a snapback. It's going to make a new low. And this is where they catch everybody on snapbacks. People say, I got to get in. I got to get in at $56 before it gets to 58. No. Because, see, the problem is on JP Morgan, you got a ton of sellers at $63, $64, okay? You got a ton of sellers at $63.90. Between, say, 60 and $63.90. How are you going to get up through those? So now the stock hit a low of 56.74. Now it's up to 59.07. But wait a minute. You got to get through all those sellers from 59.07 that made a mistake to 63. And all of them are saying, if I get half my money back, I'm out. Never buy on these dips unless you know what you're doing. Now, Citi wasn't the one to buy. Wells Fargo, because Wells Fargo had relative strength. When the banks all went down, that Wells Fargo didn't go down. That's what you buy. Now, take Citigroup. People are buying Citigroup on a snapback. This is a pure snapback. We have far more sellers than we do buyers today. And here you go again. Take Citigroup. It dropped from $63 down to a low of $56. Now it's at 59. But wait a minute. You got to get from 59 back up through 63.90. How are you going to do that? Those are all sellers in there. There's no buyers in there. The big boys aren't going to come in and buy. You know where they're going to buy? The big institutions? When it makes a new high. So the high on April 1 was 63.90. Smart money's going to wait until it breaks out to a new high and there's no sellers. People who don't know what they're doing, 90% of people lose money in the market. They always hear, buy in the dip, and you're getting screwed. They want you to buy on the dip. They want you in there buying on the dip to help them out. The guys you see on TV. So if anyone's buying these banks today, you got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. So let's go take a look at energy. Energy stocks sold off, and I told my members we took our profits on our energy stock, and we caught a nice rally on all our stocks. For example, take COP. COP, we got into COP somewhere around 111. It got up to around 134. So that's about I think that's what, 12%? 10%. And I said, take profits, take your profits, put your stop in. And then it started to roll over. How do we know it was going to roll over? Because you look at the lack of buyers, volume. And the big guys, the big institutions, the big hedge funds, the insurance companies, the big banks, they're not going to buy Conoco. Too overpriced. Valuation's too high. Now, they didn't mind when all they were hearing is, we're going to do rate cuts. Rate cuts are off the shelf. They're gone. So, again, these stocks, the oil stocks, I wouldn't touch those unless they make new highs again, because I'll tell you why. These oil stocks, the problem with the oil stocks, and we did very well in these oil stocks. We made a lot of money in the oil stocks. But the problem is, the only reason the oil stocks are up is not because we have a strong economy. I wish I could tell you oil stocks are up big because we have a strong economy, we have a strong labor market. It's not true. We don't. The only reason why it's up is because we got all the problems we got in Israel and in Iran and the Middle East, and we got that Gulf, the Persian Gulf, I think it's called. That's where all the oil goes through and all the ships go through. and you got Hamas and everybody's firing at the ships. So that's the only reason why oil is up. If someone says overnight, let's say Sunday morning, we're going to have peace now. We're going to have a peace treaty. You know what's going to happen to oil? It's going to tank. So I would not be. See, you got to catch these stocks when nobody wants them, like we did. We caught oil on March 7th. So those oil stocks, I would not be buying on a dip today. Now, if you also take a look at the tech stocks, my God, you're going to get killed with these tech stocks. Tech stocks are going to get worse and worse because are you kidding me? Yields are going to keep going higher and higher and higher. So if anything, you want to be short the tech stocks. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so again, if you take a look at any of the tech stocks here, I'll put them up for you here. You can see them. Okay, the tech stocks right now, let me put them up here for you. Okay, take, for example, Nvidia. Okay, we're short Nvidia. Okay, on our Pro 1, we're short on our Pro 1, but only our 25%ers. Take Amazon. Okay, again, we're only short on our Pro 1 chart, where we have our very experienced traders. But these are all rolling over now. These tech stocks have had it. I'll explain more when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Well, you don't have to ask that question when you listen to my radio show, because you're going to know exactly what the market's going to do. You're going to know if the market's going to go up, you're going to know if the market's going to go down, or the market's not going to go anywhere.
Phil Grande and philsgang.com takes the worry out of investing.
Pay attention to my show, philsgang.com. It's fun, entertaining, and you get the greatest information, especially stock picks.
That's philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. So the market, the tech stocks are really getting hit hard today. Nvidia is getting really slammed. And I told everybody that would happen. And I have our gang members short in our big tech stocks, okay, on what we call our Pro 1 chart. That's for experienced members. The new members have to wait for our other chart, Pro 2, to turn red. But we are way ahead of everybody on these. And I kept telling them this is going to happen. The only reason the S&P is up today because the plunger team came in and started to buy the bank stocks to push up that S&P to make sure they didn't hit those stops, because there's a ton of stops right at 5%, right below it. Ton of stops, and they don't want those triggered. So don't be buying these banks on these snapbacks. Look, what people don't understand is that this whole market since 2009 has been supported by money supply, increased money supply. And increased money supply, okay, is where inflation comes from. And when you have more money supply and you're not taking that money and put it into productivity, so all of a sudden what happens, you get all this money, but you don't get productivity. That creates tremendous inflation. So for anybody to say to you, oh, we're going to have rate cuts, that was a bull-faced lie. It's amazing. So we have a record $34 trillion national debt. And from 2008 to 2022, it increased 385%. That's insane. The interest increased 157%. We had record spending from 2008 to 2023. They don't stop spending. They won't stop spending, the government. Our spending increased 50%, causing our deficits to increase 340%. What are you, nuts? That's insane. So again, to be successful in this market, you got to learn how to short. See, the deficits kill you. They strangle you. Because when you have deficits, and deficits are increasing rapidly by this president, $1 trillion each quarter. And when you have deficits, the consequences are rising debt, rising deficits, our economy's growth stalls, our inverted yield curve, which everybody's been poo-pooing, oh, that's been inverted for 2 years, don't listen to Phil, it's been inverted, for nothing's going to happen. Really? Then how come the history of the inverted yield curve since 1978, I think we've had 6 of them, since 1978, each one a recession occurred. We have record personal debt, record part-time jobs. And that's the other thing, when they keep telling you how strong the economy is, it drives me nuts. Now, you take Ludwig Institute for Shared Economic Prosperity. They are an independent agency. They do fact-checking. And it is brutal. the line that came out of this Congress in the White House. How can they say that the economy is strong, the labor market is strong, when the White House and the BLS under Jared Bernstein, Biden's chief economic advisor, found it necessary to lie about the number of jobs? And they got caught fudging them by 439,000 jobs. How can you have a strong economy? You don't have a strong labor market or economy when a record 8.7 million are holding multiple jobs. It's the largest number of multiple jobs in 2020. Don't tell me the economy's strong. How can it be strong, have a strong labor market, when between 2022 and 2023, we had real full-time good-paying jobs dropped by half under Biden. And you don't have a good, strong labor market when in March the Empire State reported not even one new full-time manufacturing job, but we lost 29 manufacturing jobs. You don't have a strong labor market when, according to the fact-checking by the independent Ludwig Institute for Shared Economic Prosperity, the real unemployment rate is 17%, not 3.8. They're pointing out, if you go back to 1982 and count the uninflation, use the metric system they used for 50, 60 years. They only changed it in 1982 because the elections were on, and they were afraid the inflation was so high, so they rigged it. And they never unrigged it. So the real unemployment is 17%. So again, when you have a market that goes down on a Friday night at 475 points, and you wake up in the morning, it's up 350, and then Monday it closes down 250, and you wake up Tuesday morning, it's up 340? What are you, nuts? How does that happen? How do you go from a negative 475 to a positive 350 the next morning? Or negative 250 on Monday night, and we wake up Tuesday morning at 350? It's called the plunger protection team. They make those decisions. That's because they took away the free market from us. But all of this works in your advantage if you know how to read a chart. All these stocks that are dropping today, my members are short. XLK, that's the ETF. The ETF for technology. It started to turn red on April 17th. We told them short it. And guess what? The minute it turned red, no other chart does this. Now XLK is going down. So all these big tech stocks that you've been married to, like Nvidia, people are getting slaughtered in Nvidia today. Just look at SMH. That's the entire semiconductor ETF. We're short that because we told our members when it goes from green to red, short. AVGO turned red today. That's Broadcom. That turned red today. So they're short. So they got a signal, went to short. The stock started to go down on April 15th. But we said, no, it's still green on our chart. It went down again on the 17th. It went down again on the 18th. We said, no, you got to wait till you get the confirmation. Let it turn red. No other chart does this. These are our charts. We designed them. And it turned red today. And look how it dropped. Big time. So these tech stocks are getting slaughtered. The oil stocks, as I said, they're going to be okay. But boy, you got to tread lightly with these oil stocks. It's just one little word of peace, a settlement. They're going to tank like a flying crowbar, okay? They're going to tank. So I'd right now, I'd be short a lot of these oil stocks, okay, on Pro 2 the minute they turn red. That means a lot of selling is coming in. And we'll show you how to use Pro 2 color-coded chart. But listen to this here. This is just amazing. Listen to this.
I'm still thinking this will turn out to be the roaring 2020s, kind of similar to the 1920s where we had tremendous productivity growth.
That's a lie. We don't have productivity. The reason why we got inflation, because money supply is outpacing productivity. Factories are laying people off, but they're still printing money. increasing the money supply. In fact, right now, we have record low savings, high trade deficits, record household debt, record personal debt, record part-time jobs. And what's this guy say?
I'm still thinking this will turn out to be the roaring 2020.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
When you have 45 BRICS, 45 countries, and the BRICS plus countries rising in membership, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE, when you have 45 countries doing trade settlements outside of the U.S. dollar, when you see what's happening with the ruble and the yuan and what they're doing in the oil trade, what even Japan is doing now outside of the petrodollar, these are massive implications on the U.S. dollar. When you take away that synthetic demand from the petrodollar, when you look at what's happening in the COMEX market, the deliveries going out by day, all of these things are massive. And when you look at central banks dumping U.S. treasuries consistently and stacking physical gold at record levels, these are massive changes.
Oh my God, I got a headache. Just use the chart. It turns red, you sell short. Turns green, you buy. What the hell is that nonsense? You see the chart, join the gang. 3 to 10 days, and you'll have fun.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.